I'm Bud Collectivist of Jedi Collectivist Media.
1, 2, 3. Defend Khalil and Taffy! 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 All right, everybody, we are here today. First of all, thank you for being here so early in this cold, cold weather. And that just proves how dedicated we are to fight against the repression of the CUNY administration, to press down against the students, the revolutionary students that are fighting for the liberation of CUNY. What does that mean? Yes, exactly. An applause for Khalil and Taffy. On October 28th, the CCNY administration came down and took away the Guillermo Morales and Asada Shakur Center in retaliation against all the protests that were going on against Petraeus and the overall militarization of CUNY. That is exactly why they did it, and that is exactly why they are attacking specific members of RSCC, the Revolutionary Student Coordinating Committee. And we are the only ones that have been physically pointed out by the NYPD and CUNY administration. So today, we have to defend our comrades so that we don't let this happen to any more of us, any more people that want to fight for the liberation of CUNY. And now I'm going to introduce the speakers that are going to talk more about the situation and the work that we're doing with the community and how this is going to be a continuous struggle to take back CUNY. Because we do not only want the Guillermo Morales and the Asada Shakur Center back. We want a center like that in every single CUNY campus. Oh, okay. All right. So now the chair of RSCC is going to speak, and then we're going to have other
I'm not chair, I'm general secretary. That's beside the point, that's okay. But I want to speak about how CUNY right now has shown itself, and the educational system has shown itself the barefaced contradictions of what it actually is. Look at those pigs over there. When we challenge what their standards of what an educational institution should be, they're going to bring out the pigs. They are going to bring out the ones who have the badges, who uphold the laws by force. This is their intention. They want us to go to this educational system so we can become better exploited subjects, so that we can move on to the next level and show how loyal and how much obedience we are as workers. So now, Khalil and Taffy, their actions represented a complete opposite to what this institution expects from us. They expect us to not fight for liberation. Khalil and Taffy have both fought for liberation by trying to seize back the center. The two people which that center was named for, let's talk a bit about them. Asada Shakur and Guillermo Morales. Who are they? Asada Shakur was a member of the Black Liberation Army. Guillermo Morales was a member of the Fuerzas Armadas de la Liberación Nacional.
Get him.
Now, these two organizations have been criminalized. They have been labeled as terrorists by the ideological state apparatus. They want to label any kind of resistance as terrorism. They want to label it as criminalization. Now, when you see the Asada Shakur Morales Center, they say, oh yeah, you know, they're a bunch of terrorists, they did these kinds of things. It's disgusting, it should be condemned. They should forever be blacklisted or whatever. Well, let's look at this country. Let's look at the fact that Columbus Circle is named after Christopher Columbus, and he's a mass murderer, founded this nation on genocide. Let's look at the fact that in in Virginia, they have a statue named after Nathan Bedford Forrest, who's the founder of the KKK. That's disgusting. We have our own standards, and they have their own. Their standard is one of holding up genocide and repression. Our standards are one of upholding liberation and liberation from exploitation. we always have to force our standards against theirs because their standards are inherently unjust. This standard goes not only to the repressive military apparatus, but the ideological state apparatus as well too. They come in here they expect us to come in here and legitimate their structure. They want us to accept that it's okay that Assad Shakur and Guillermo Morales are both labeled as terrorists, that they're both criminalized. That's disgusting. We should condemn that. As a matter of fact, they are our heroes. We know one thing. We know that you cannot judge the powerful by the same criteria as the powerless. The powerful have to be judged on a much stronger criteria. Now, Assad Shakur and Guillermo Morales, in relationship to this unjust system, they did a just thing by fighting for the liberation of their people. Same thing that Khalil and Taffy did. They are not guilty of anything. They didn't do anything wrong. They are acting just. They are acting for liberation. They are acting to overthrow this exploitative and oppressive system, and we have to fully support that. Next up is Derek from the anthropology. Yeah, from anthropology department. My bad.
Hi, I am Taffy's professor. I'm here because I stand with Taffy and Khalil. You know, I'm proud to have Taffy as one of my students. You know, Taffy is the type of person that this university needs. He comes to class, brings a critical perspective, and takes that out to the real world. You know, these are the types of students we need to be supporting. You know, I'm not going to say anything that anyone here can say better than me. I'm just here to say I'm here to support Taffy and Khalil, and thank you for being here.
Khalil and Taffy! Defend 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 Khalil and Taffy!
Khalil and Taffy are my motherfucking comrades! That's my word! Alright, well next up is Shandor from IG and the History Department of Hunter. Yeah!
Morning. First I want to say, my name is Shandor John. I teach history at Hunter College. I'm an active member of our union, the Faculty and Staff Union. I'm also part of the CUNY Internationalist Clubs and the Class Struggle Education Workers. In terms of what the last speaker said, I want to say that every faculty member at City College and every faculty member at the City University of New York needs to be actively defending Khalil Vasquez and Tafadar Sourov against this unjust political persecution. Every faculty member, every staff member, every student, every worker at CUNY has a direct stake in this fight. If you raise your voice against injustice at this university, be it the militarization or the racist attack against the Morales Shakur Center, or something that's going wrong on your job, or you're not getting paid on time, do you want to be pepper sprayed in the face like they did against a demonstrator just a couple weeks ago? Do you want to have a white-shirted police supervisor punch you in the face repeatedly? Or have you be held down, face down on the sidewalk by the NYPD? And a plainclothes cop repeatedly hit you in the kidney? For what? Do you want that to be what happens to you? Obviously not. So we all have a stake in demanding that Taffy and Khalil be reinstated immediately. and all charges against them be dropped. We all have a stake in coming out to court this next Wednesday, the 13th of November at 9 a.m. at 100 Center Street.
We'll be there.
To defend and support the 4 members of the CUNY 6 who were arrested on September 17th at the demonstration against the war criminal David Death Squad Petraeus. We all have a stake in struggling to rip up, to shred, and throw in the garbage can a policy named in the spirit of George Orwell, in other words, with a ridiculously deceptive, absurd, and hypocritical name. What is it? Expressive activity policy. That the Board of Trustees and administration of the university are trying to shove down our throats to stifle our voices and prevent demonstration and protest. That is a policy that would make most, if not all, protests illegal. We need to rip that to shreds, and there needs to be a mass mobilization on November 25th at the next Board of Trustees meeting to say we will not abide by that. We will defy it. We will stomp it. We will destroy it, and it must be abolished. Now, I've got a few more things to say. Where do these policies and attacks come from? Where do they come from? What are they about? Well, in the first place, the racist attacks and police repression are something that goes on campus and off campus. The militarization of the university is connected to a worldwide drive to try to privatize and corporatize and carry out a race and class purge of the universities. That's why teachers in Brazil are on strike. That's why teachers in Mexico have been on strike in an upsurge of struggle against such laws. Here in the United States, that program comes straight from the top, from the White House. It comes from Obama. It comes from the Democratic Party. And here in New York City, racist police repression, stop and frisk, and all of that. The daily work of the thugs in blue. The thugs in blue will continue their work, whether it be under Bloomberg or de Blasio, unless and until a mass struggle of the working class in this country does away with the social system, the capitalist system that breeds that racist repression. Only at such a time will we be able to open the doors of the university for everybody and make education really free for everyone. Lastly, I want to ask, because I don't want to go on too long, I want to ask you why? Why do you think these attempts at repression are being carried out? Is it some kind of blip? Is it an accident? In Spanish, es una casualidad it would be. Is it just something casual? No, it is not. This is an attempt to intimidate us. This is an attempt to silence us. This is an attempt to deter us from the struggle to oust the war criminal David Petraeus and ROTC and the military recruiters and the military contractors, and to stop the militarization of CUNY. I want to ask you, are you going to be intimidated? No! Are you afraid of this repression? No! Are you going to be deterred? No! Are we going to be silenced? No! We are not afraid of that repression. Okay. We will not be deterred. Smash the militarization of CUNY. Defend Khalil and Taffy now.
Thank you.
Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy!
All right, yo, so next up, we have Bill Crane from Psychology Department.
Bill!
coming. I'm a developmental psychologist. It has to do with parents and raising children. Now, if you had a child who took something away from another kid, say Johnny took something away from Joey, and you're a responsible parent, what would you tell your kid to do? You tell your kid to give it back. If you steal something, you take something that doesn't belong to you, you give it back.
Right.
What should the administration do?
Give it back.
Give it back! Chant with me, give it back!
Give it back!
Give the center back!
Give the center back!
Give the center back!
Give the center back!
Thank you!
So next up, we have Tony from the Academic Freedom Committee of the PSC.
I'm wearing many hats. I actually taught Assata Shakur in the fall of 1977 at Riker. I taught Assata Shakur at Rikers Island in the fall of 1977 as part of John J. Collins Criminal Justice Program. And she was then known as Joanne Chesimard. And she received an A. She was the best student. She was wonderful. She was creative. She wrote well, spoke well. And there she was, 6 months after being convicted, falsely convicted of the murder of the state trooper in New Jersey. The only trial that stuck. Okay, and I actually have the grade sheets and her attendance sheets, which I'm going to donate to the Schomburg Center. Khalil Mohammed, the director, asked me to do so. I'm going to do that. So, fast forward 36 years after the Boston Marathon bombing, and the FBI puts her on the terrorist list, the 10 most wanted. Okay, 17 days after they let the Boston Marathon bombers into Boston so they could test out their experiments on the American population. Now, anybody who believes that this is idle talk should check out Operation Northwoods on their little portable computers. Operation Northwoods was 1962. The Joint Chiefs of Staff, the heads of the military, plotted to blow up an American airline, plant bombs in American cities, and blame it on Castro so they could invade the island. This is Operation Northwoods. You all can look it up, folks. Back there. You can also look it up and you'll see what goes on, how you guys are used by the power structure. And guess what? Who turned it down? John F. Kennedy. And guess what happened to him next year?
Assassinated.
Okay. Now, I come here also having run for mayor on the Green Party. We support the right of resistance when people are attacked. We're nonviolent, but when people are attacked and their constitutional rights are completely violated, as is the case with these two young men, Khalil and Taffy, we are defending these young men. Also, I'm on the Academic Freedom Committee of the Union. We met Wednesday and we voted to support the rally and the demands. And on that Academic Freedom Committee, which is comprised of 15 members of the City University, we have 2 distinguished professors, both of them, incidentally, from John Jay College of Criminal Justice, Jerry Markowitz and Blanche Cook. So we are fully supportive of the rights to protest. Yesterday, the president said, of this college, said she would bring them back if they promise not to protest. What kind of wholesale violation of the Constitution does this show? Okay, these people are in violation of the law. They should be suspended from their job, not these 2 students from their academic rights to attend CUNY, the so-called free academy.
So next up, we have David Zucker.
My name's David Zucker, and I'm an alumni of the school. morning I received a letter banning me from this campus indefinitely. Wow. Please take notice that you are hereby barred from this campus of the City College of New York until further notice. And one of the 3 reasons they gave, you have no legitimate purpose for being on the City College campus. I say, I have every purpose to be on this campus.
Yeah.
I raised my daughter in that building. My daughter is Serenity Sukkar. She's a senior at Columbia Secondary School on 123rd and Morningside. She's applied to go to City College. Her counselor said there's no way in hell she's getting into City College, but she still applied. All I want to do is find out the status of her application. I want my daughter to come here. I have another child. His name is Ty. He was with me here 2 weeks ago when we had a demonstration in front of the administration building. He sat down with me when I asked for entrance into that building to check on my daughter's application. We went over here to try to gain access, and they almost stepped on my son's head. They almost hurt my son. They tried to hurt me. They maced me after they threw me on the ground. They called the ACS on me and his mother. They actively are trying to take my son away from us. They called his mother Wednesday evening and said, if we see him with your son at another meeting or protest, we will take him away from you. Fuck you! Fuck you! I do what the fuck I want, my son! Fuck you! You want to take my son away from me? Come to fucking get me, bitches! All power to the people! All power to the people! All power to the people! All power to the people!
RBG. Alright, so next up we have Maya from Student Worker Action Group.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'm not Maya, I'm Shaman from Student Worker Action Group. I just have a few small points to make. I'm really not going to repeat what everyone said. Everyone said excellent points already. I just think this is a very humbling moment for all of us. There's thousands of students at CCNY, let alone CUNY, and yet today the revolutionary movement and the radical student movement cannot bring out larger amounts of students. I think this is a very humbling moment where we need to think about and have a conversation in the movement of what kind of organizing we'll do in the upcoming months to rebuild a movement in the city that can defend Taffy, that can defend Khalil, that can take back the Morales Shakur Center. The reality is the administration and the situation in the city has separated the radical student movement from the body or the large mass of the general student population. I don't think we can get arrogant at this moment. I think we need to really come together and figure out how we're going to organize with larger numbers of students at this point. So what that looks like, a humble and serious conversation needs to begin, and hopefully we'll win back CUNY in the manner many of the speakers have been talking about. Thank you.
Next up, we have Dennis O'Neill from Freedom Road. Yeah.
I'm liking the fact that everybody is talking short. I'm going to do the same thing. I can't, like many people, say I'm a prof or I'm an alumnus, but in a certain sense, I guess I'm an alumnus of the struggle here. I was in SDS at NYU when the campus was first occupied and open admissions was one. We marched around the campus, students from all over the city, to support it. I was inside BMCC as an outside agitator in 1989 during the struggle that won the Morales Shakur Center. And my message is very simple. This is a long struggle. It's been going on for a long time, as you can see. You're carrying it out now. Without you, everything that's been fought for, everything that's been won, would be taken away like that. So you look around, you say there aren't so many people here. I agree with the brother who just spoke. You know, yes, got to take it broader, got to reach out to other campuses, got to build the movement up. But right now, you are the bulwark defending CUNY from being corporatized, ground down into a machine to pump out loyal little servants of the system and the regime. You guys are doing it, and I thank you for it, and keep it up. Free Khalil, free Taffy, no charges.
Next up, we have Kona Thomas Reed of the Department of English.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Are y'all staying warm out there?
Yeah.
What's up?
Defend Khalil and Taffy! 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 Defend Khalil and Taffy!
Defend Khalil and Taffy!
Y'all want to share some words before your hearing? Do y'all want to share some words before your hearing?
You want to say some shit before you go up in there?
Yeah.
Say something, comrade.
Come on up. Y'all want to share some
Yo,
words?
venga acá, loco. Súbate ahí. Súbate ahí, loco.
Yes,
I can stand there and we'll try.
Well, everything began over here 2 Mondays ago when we began protests after they illegally raided the Morales Shakur Center and seized our property. And since then, they've been repressing our democratic rights and our human rights. I walked by the school for the last 2 weeks, and I'm in emotional distress because I can't step on campus, I can't join my friends and my comrades. But that's still not going to stop us. We came here today, all of you came to support us. We came here to stop their political repression, to stop the militarization of CUNY, and they don't seem to realize that the movement just grows with everything they do. So I want to give the CCNY administration and public safety a big thank you for playing a part in building our movement.
The CUNY community will not be defeated.
All right.
I will be brief. The fact of the matter is, today we see that amongst political movements in CUNY, there are 2 kinds of political movements in CUNY. There are those political movements which the administration can tolerate, that they can negotiate with, they can sit down with. And there are those political movements like us that they must smash, that they must censor, they must beat, like on September 17th against the Betrayers protest, or they must banish from campus, like they did to myself and Comrade Taffy. Let this be a testament to everybody about the true potential of revolutionary struggle. To be attacked by the enemy is a good thing. The CUNY administration, along with all the other ruling elites in New York City, the landlords, the police, the rich, they are the enemies of the people. We are the people, and the people cannot be defeated with organization and political struggle. I might.
Defend Khalil and Taffy! 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 Defend Khalil and Taffy!
Once again, let's give a big shout of solidarity to the folks coming in to their disciplinary hearing. This is something that they can beat. Let's give them another big round of applause. This right here, despite the fact that we have students, my name is Connor Thomas Reed. I'm a City College of New York alumnus. I'm a student at the CUNY Graduate Center, and I teach at Medgar Evers College in Brooklyn. This right here, despite the fact and because of the fact that there are students who are being disciplined, who are being threatened with expulsion, I agree with Khalil that this is in many ways very much a picture of the strength of this movement right now. This right here, it's 9:30 a.m., it's cold, but we've got a crew out of people out here. This is in many ways a CUNY movement moment. People are talking about the issues that are going on here at City College, around the City University of New York every single day. What we do want to do is to have a little bit of a longer look about what campus repression looks like. 2 years ago, in November of 2011, hundreds of students gathered at Baruch College at a Board of Trustees meeting to say that they oppose tuition being increased for the next 5 years. Now, there were several hundred people who were in the lobby of Baruch College. CUNY security, people who look just like those thugs over there, they had batons and they rushed a peaceful crowd. 15 of us, including myself, were arrested on that day. I was a Baruch College professor. And so, what we want to do is be very clear that the people who say that they are at the top of this university, the presidents, the provosts, the people in the top administration, as well as the security, do not have the interests of education in mind. They want to run this school like a war zone. They want to run the school like a prison. Critical, radical thinking, attention to our history, that's not something that they care about. I'm bringing to our attention, remembering about the fall of 2011, specifically these arrests, because the policy on expressive activity is directly flowing from that. A group of faculty members met with the chancellor and with the CUNY administration to say, how dare you treat students like this? How dare you arrest faculty like this? The CUNY administration said, we actually don't have a policy on how to handle protests on this campus, how to handle protests on that campus. So a couple of years later, what do? We have this drafted policy on expressive activity. So what I want for us to do is to pay in mind that when students and faculty pressure the administration to make reforms, the administration takes that and then they create this whole other monster that we're now trying to figure out defeating. So what does that mean for us? What that means is, like someone Shaman had said earlier, we need to take a sober look at the strength of our CUNY movement moment. Much respect to the people who put on the Speak Out today. I know that here in CUNY, we have a variety of people who are part of the CUNY movement. We have the Revolutionary Students Coordinating Committee. We have the Ad Hoc Committee Against the Militarization of CUNY. We have Liberate CUNY Front. We have Students for Educational Rights. We have New York Students Rising. We have Free University. We have the Adjunct Project. We have the Union of Teachers and Staff, the Professional Staff Congress. We have, even though sometimes they do not take steps forward that they should, student governments. But what I'm trying to do is to show there is a wide array of people who are making things like this happen. We have people like Derek, one of Taft's professors, who came up here and spoke in defense of Taft being able to stay in his class. So there are a lot of people who are in the CUNY movement who are active, who are open, who are in public. There are also a lot of people who are doing the hidden, day-to-day work that is making our movement work. What I want for us to do is to pay attention that when we talk about university power, we're talking about 500,000 students in CUNY. That's power. We're talking about tens of thousands of faculty and staff who make this university with students every single day. So for us to take our CUNY movement moment seriously, that means reaching outside of our radical circles. That means making announcements in our classrooms and in our departments and in our student clubs and with our circles of friends. And that means, for example, the November 25th Board of Trustees meeting, that we invite people on all different levels of the radical spectrum to come out together, that we invite our family members, that we invite people who were a part of CUNY and may have graduated years and decades ago to also see this as part of their CUNY movement moment. We need to grow. We need to be much more dynamic. We need to have many more women speaking up here.
Yes.
And with that, I'll just say much respect. We have a movement. We have a university to win. So much respect. Let's keep the work going.
Alright, so next up is Alice from Revolutionary Student Coordinating Committee.
The attack on the Guillermo Morales Masada Shakur Center is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on our communities. There is nothing like the center anywhere at all outside in the CUNY. There is no place where students and community members can talk about community issues and organize around community issues. The attack on the center aims to separate us from our communities. That is the role of schooling, and that is the role of CUNY. That is the role that Taffy and Khalil are defying. Desperate to save face, the City College administration attempted to strike a deal with Taffy and Khalil yesterday. They offered to lift their suspension until the next morning and allow them to resume their classes under a few conditions. 1, if they submit to monitoring by security when they are on campus. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. 2, if they agree to end their political activities on campus. In their wildest dreams. Anybody who knows those two will know that they will not do that. The 3rd is that if they not participate on campus in any other way besides being obedient students. Taffy and Khalil are the opposite of obedient students, and we all know that. That's why we're out here today. There is no way that the CUNY administration is going to succeed in buying out Taffy and Khalil. Taffy and Khalil, like other proletarian students, have no stake in maintaining the system. They have no stake in maintaining this CUNY. The CUNY administration brings in David Petraeus to teach. They spy on Muslim students. They spy on other student clubs. They beat us up at protests. This is not the kind of CUNY that we live for. This is not the kind of CUNY that we struggle for. CUNY does all these things because this is not a neutral institution. It has a specific function in society. It produces the ideology of the ruling class to keep people in their proper places. What is the proper place of all CUNY students? We're here to be teachers, accountants, nurses, all these different careers. That's what we are in school for. To be those things, to have those careers. CUNY doesn't want us to do anything but those things. But we know that that's not what we're here for. We all know that we are struggling for a better CUNY, to transform CUNY, to overthrow this CUNY and the society that enforces this CUNY. Woo! They want us to see ourselves only as students, as if that itself is also a neutral category. But there are all kinds of students. On the one hand, there are people like Colin Powell, who is also a CUNY alumni, and he does everything to be part of the system that rapes and kills people here and abroad. On the other hand, we have Asada Shakur. Woo! is another CUNY alumni at City College, who is a member of the Black Panther Party. Today, we have Taffy and Khalil, heroes of the people. They put themselves on the line for us and for the future of CUNY. Just like the students and community members who were part of the 1969 strike. Just like the community members and students of the 8-month wholesale takeover in 1976. History has shown that there is a right and wrong side. It is our duty to take a side and draw lessons from past struggles. It is also our duty to win.
Woo! Oh yeah!
Yeah. Victory to Taffy and Khalil! Drop the charges!
Alright, so I have a quick announcement to make. So Khalil and Taffy's hearing is an open hearing. So that means, you know, we can go in, but Mark, who's doing the legal work for them to defend Khalil and Taffy, said that we can go in, but we can't like make disruptions and this kind of thing, and like that's gonna, you know, like hinder their case. You know, like, you know, it's bullshit, but you know, still we gotta be there, right? There's only going to be 15 people allowed for now, but they're trying to make the space like a bigger venue so it can have more people. Wait, so should we go now? Yeah. So yeah, so we should go now to, you know, go for the hearing. Yeah.
The point of the fight that's going on right now in the hearing is that Khalil and Taffy and their legal team want to use this case to make a political point. Okay, we don't believe in the bourgeois legal process and supporting that, but that Mark and Khalil and Taffy have agreed that they want to go in and make a point about the case, a point about the Morales Shakur Center, and a point about the fight in general to liberate CUNY for the people. And that is why we're asking the people don't go in and disturb the trial. It's not because we respect their process and we respect their dignity or whatever. It's that we need to use this political platform, okay? So we're gonna try to move it to a larger venue, but for now there's only 15 people allowed. So, I mean, I think we could continue the demonstration since obviously we can't all go in at the same time. So if there are people still on stack, then we can continue.
Alright, so next up is Brother Shep, who's chairperson of the Morales Shakur Center and a member of Zulu Nation. Zulu!
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
I'm gonna be real brief and to the point, basically giving folks an update on what's going on. Again, I'm Brother Shep. I was in the original Black Panther Party. Sada is my comrade. And I just want you to know, our property has still been confiscated. We know what they're doing with the property. They're trying to find anything they can to make a connection to our sister in Cuba. It's not gonna happen because we're much more intelligent than they are. There's nothing in that building that connects anything that happens here. If they find something that's connected, it's because they planted it there. 19 days we're going on, they've held our property. 19 days to go through the computers. 19 days to go through our files. 19 days of 40-something odd boxes of our property is under their confiscation right now. What they fail to realize is that there's a community wing to the center. And we already have plans on how to deal with these fools. They don't have a clue. What I want the students to continue to do is do what you're doing. We're in the process of organizing the coordinating committee for the struggle and put it together. Right now as we speak, if something was to happen here, a lot of y'all don't know, or you might know, the 40th anniversary of the Universal Zulu Nation is taking place right here in Harlem. We have thousands of Zulus right now in Harlem. So if they try some stupid crap, we're gonna roll. I'm telling you straight up. We're gonna protect the students, we got your back.
and all other organizations that are part of the center, they got your back. Do not be dissuaded, do not be intimidated. When I went to CUNY in the early 70s, it was free tuition and open admissions. Right. Free tuition and open admissions. That is what your fight has to be for. That's why they're putting these draconian laws into act right now. They don't want to see students organizing. They don't want to go back to what happened in the 70s and the 80s. Your other battle needs to get these departments back up. What happened to Asian studies? What happened to women's studies? What happened to the black studies departments? They're all gone for a reason. So you have a big fight ahead of you, but you got to keep the struggle going. And again, we got your back. Understand that. The communities of Harlem and the organizations throughout the city and throughout the world know what's going on here. Last but not least, when you hear about the meetings coming up, make sure you attend. Right now they're putting some more security cameras around the corner. Don't worry about all of that. They used to bug the office. They had a camera in the smoke detector. So they took down the sign. That's why the community started using the center. Yes, our programs have been disrupted. Our property has been still confiscated. They're lying to us across the street. Just got a letter from the vice president, Rainer, who said after we had a meeting with her, just got it. Oh, well, we're gonna find a room for your property in a week, maybe 2 weeks. So we know what's going on, but we got that covered. We have a team of legal advisors and attorneys from every civil and human rights law firm throughout this city that's coming together now. It'll probably be the first time in history where you see the National Lawyers Guild, Center for Constitutional Rights, ACLU, and all the rest of them coming together. Because this fight will be won. And we're also gonna sue the hell out of these bastards. We're gonna do that. Don't worry about the money, we'll take care of that. So continue and make sure you use court etiquette when you go into that hearing. Just like when you would go to court for a political prisoner, and there are still a lot of political prisoners in this country, including Asada, who we were able to liberate from the prison. But we have to use common sense about when we're moving on these fools. There's a time and place for everything. When it's time to roll on them, it'll happen. They ain't gotta be announced, and nobody gotta say nothing. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't hear y'all. Yeah. All right, so whoever's going to the hearing, make sure you get your etiquette and keep things calm. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Hands off Asada and Guillermo.
Hands off Asada and Guillermo.
And make sure that Taffy and Khalil are back home.
Yeah. Hands off Khalil and Taffy. Hands off Khalil and Taffy. Hands off Khalil and Taffy. Hands off Khalil and Taffy.
Hands off Khalil and Taffy. All right, so next up we got Max from
Spartacus Youth.
Spartacus Youth.
Hey everyone, thanks again. My name is Max. We're the Spartacus Youth Club. We're here in solidarity with Khalil and Tafadar, and we also oppose the jackbooted eviction of the Morale Shakur Center. We say reinstate the Morale Shakur Center. Drop the suspensions now, and cops off campus.
Right.
This crackdown on leftist groups was a direct response to the anti-Petraeus and anti-Razzi protests. We also say Razzi and Petraeus off campus now. This also comes in the context of a drive by the administration to make CUNY more elite and exclusive, which has made it much harder for black, immigrants, and poor students to attend. We fight for free, quality, integrated education for everyone, for open admissions and no tuition. Abolish the student debt. Now the current events make it clear that the purpose of the administration is to act as the representative of the capitalist class on campus. This means mobilizing the cops, which are the attack dogs of the bourgeoisie, to smash student protest and to stifle dissent of any kind. The role of the university under capitalism is to educate the next generation of bourgeois ideologues, managers, and technicians in order to maintain the capitalist system. Now this is a Marxist understanding of the university under capitalism. However, the RSCC continues to maintain that CUNY can be made into a revolutionary institution under capitalism. This is fundamentally false. In order to transform the university, one must first transform society, and the forces to do this lie outside the gates of CUNY. Only the working class has the power and the collective interest to shut down production and replace capitalism with a collectivized planned economy, i.e. socialism. In doing so, the workers must fight against all forms of oppression under capitalism, including for black liberation, for women's liberation, including for free abortion on demand, for full citizenship rights for all immigrants, and against the discrimination and violence against LGBT people. Only the working class can do this, not the students or the unemployed or the peasantry, but the workers. Students must ally with the power of the working class. Now, the biggest obstacle to a revolutionary perspective in this country is the faith that most workers have in the Democratic Party. Now, whether it's under Wall Street Democrat Obama, who's very unpopular right now, or the new ascendant populist Bill de Blasio, or more liberal local politicians like Ydanis Rodriguez, whoever they are, the Democrats serve the interest of the capitalist class just as much as the Republicans or the independent billionaire Bloomberg. We give no support to any capitalist party or politician. We say break with the Democrats for a workers' party that fights for socialist revolution. Now this is fundamental for any Marxist. However, the internationalist groups over here, which claims to be Marxist, said not one word opposing the Democrats for most of this semester in order to maintain their bloc with other reformist student groups like the RSCC. So if you're looking for a genuinely revolutionary party with a program to overthrow capitalism, you need to check out the Spartacus Youth Club and get a copy of Workers' Vanguard. And again, we say, reinstate the Morale Shakur Center, drop the suspensions now, and cops off campus.
Yes, so I just want to make it very clear that we should go to the open hearing. It is an open hearing, and we can all go. So we must go. However, it is in room 1212. And the other speakers will get to speak right after. And I have you down. So we should go.
Defend Khalil and Taffy!
Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy! Defend Khalil and Taffy!
Maintain your discipline!
That's word.
I'm Bud Collectus of Jedi Academy Media.